Okay guys, today we'll be doing a carburetor, this guy right back here, on a Craftsman 5600 watt generator. It is a 10 horsepower Briggs & Stratton Intech motor. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is take the two 8mm, or well, this is a standard, the two 5/16 bolts off, or flathead screwdrivers. Air filter is fairly dirty. That's not why it wasn't running. It was definitely a carburetor issue. I'll have the new filter, new carburetor, anything you might need for this job in the description below. Alright, now we're going to take the two, I believe these are 11, or I'm going metric again. These are 7/16, maybe 3/8, but no, these are 7/16. Two 7/16 nuts out. Now this air filter assembly will slide right off and then lift up. What is it, like this? Yeah, turn it all the way to the right and then lift it straight up. The hose on the back just pulls right out, no problem at all. Alright, now these are a special female torque. I believe they're like a T27 or well, it's like a F27. It's a female torque. I found that a 4mm socket works perfect on these. So 4mm, just so you see, it's a little 4mm, just a regular 4mm socket, fits right on and breaks free. Oops, fits right on, breaks free. And then just on both these. See, this stud actually holds that. These studs hold this in, so you got to remove them. Now this is an aftermarket one. It's got a little clip in it. Usually they don't have the clip, but you just unclip it if it does and lift it out. Oh no, these ones will always have a clip. Okay, I see this one. Yep. Alright, this is not aftermarket at all. Alright, and then we're going to remove the fuel line. Make sure you've got the fuel valve off. We're going to drain this fuel, but we don't want it just leaking everywhere. And then we never remove the spring. We got to pull that spring off too. Now we got to take these two Phillips heads out. These are a pain in the butt. I found that using a pair of vice grips on them to break them free first, it works the best. Just like this. Then we're going to pull this straight up off of it. There's a spring inside. Make sure you don't lose the spring. Now this is the main jet. So we're going to pull this straight off, but see how that jet wants to fall out? Be very careful you don't lose that jet. This main jet is what we want to clean. See, it's not completely clogged. It's actually pretty wide open. But this thing wasn't running like it was wide open. It would start and then shut up right back off. So we're going to clean this jet. We're also going to pull this pin out here and get the float separated. So now we've got the float off and the needle valve off. We want to make sure that we clean where the needle valve goes, right there. And we want to clean the needle valve off. Don't use any cleaners. Just very gently rub it on your pants. Make sure it's nice and clean. There's no debris on it. And then use some spray oil to clean it. Alright, and then this with the jet, we can use a very small wire. Usually I'll pull one out of a wire wheel and then stab it in that and then spray that out with carburetor cleaner. This has a bad seal on it. Oh no, it's good. It just sticks right back in there. So you want to be careful not to swell this seal. If you spray anything in here, this seal will swell up. I will try to find. Yeah, this seal's bad. We're going to need a new seal. I'm going to need to put a new seal in this. So I'm going to try. I'll try to look this up for you so you can find a new seal for this, because this will leak and it won't run properly if the seal isn't good. And then you're going to want to clean this tube in these three holes. Now that we've gotten everything very clean, it's time for reassembly. Put the needle valve in the float like that and then bring down into position and install. So you got it in position, the pin has a flat side, you're going to grab it by the flat side and push the pin back through. Now you've gotten the float assembly together. You're going to flip it over, set it upside down, and the nice shiny clean jet you've got is going to go in it. Okay, so the jet is going to go in with the O-ring side down, the flat side up, just like that. And then you're going to get in there with a little screwdriver or something and get it pushed all the way flat level down into place. Now we're going to install this by leaving this upside down, and we're going to flip this over and bring it down to this. But first we got to put a seal on this. Once you got them together, you can put the bowl on. You'll put the spring in the center right here. Now you'll see that this needle valve that is right here lines up with a hole underneath it that goes to this fuel inlet. That's the only way it'll fit. It'll fit another way and it will be wrong. It'll leak everywhere. So you got to make sure you get that set up exactly like that. Okay? Spring on top and the bowl, and then you put in the bolts and bolt the bowl down. Now we're ready to bolt it back on. Now my isolator block stayed on here. Sometimes they'll stay back here, but you're going to want to make sure there's a gasket between the isolator block and the motor, and then a gasket between the isolator block and the carburetor. And then we're just going to bolt it back on with those two bolts that have the star torques on them. Just before I tighten them down, just so you can see, this 4mm on. See the lip, it holds this in place. So you can tighten it down. Alright, now we are going to reinsert the throttle arm into that position and then bring the clip around and click it right onto the throttle arm to keep it from coming out. And then the spring goes right in a hole right here, like so. Now before we hook up the fuel line, we have to clean out the tank. Completely drain the tank, get all the fuel out of it. Then open up the top. Get this out of the way. Open up the top, and I use an air chuck on my air hose, and I reach in and I blow all around the tank to make sure it's all completely dry and everything is drained out of it. Once you're done draining and cleaning everything, you're going to put the fuel line back in place on the generator, then put the clamp back in place with a pair of pliers. Now we're going to reinstall this. We're going to get it onto the choke arm first. It's going to take two hands for me to do this. Once you've got it on the choke arm, you can put the two 7/16 bolts back in place to hold it in. Now we'll take the crankcase ventilation tube and stab it back into the air filter assembly. We'll put our brand new air filter and our air filter cover, and then these slots will go down and two 5/16 bolts to put it in place. Alright, now that's completed. If you guys look in the description below, any of the things that you'll need will be in the description. Spark plug, fuel filter, air filter, complete carburetor. It usually comes in a whole kit for like 20 bucks, 30 bucks, something like that. My t-shirt, today's t-shirt will also be in there, so make sure you look for that as well. If you want me to wear your t-shirt, just mail me one. I'll wear it through 3 to 5 videos and give you some free advertising. If this helped you in any way, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, show me a little support. Alright guys, peace.